Let me see if I can click in, track in. I'm trying to switch all the boards and see if I get this audio going on one
Is it
side.
something stupid?
Click in, track in. Yeah,
Something
man.
you're
I
not even
guarantee you
thinking
it's
about?
something stupid. All the boards and see if I
Is it
can
your
get
headphones?
this audio
Well,
going
but they
on
would
one
hear
side.
something stupid.
Click in, track okay, there
Something
it
you're
goes. I
not even
guarantee you
thinking
it's something.
about.
There goes. There goes. And see if
Is it your
get this
headphones?
audio.
I'm
Got it.
hearing myself.
Yep, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. There we go. I just had to go into deep settings. That it, Hey, whoops. Gotta
Yeah,
love that. But anyways,
I got you. So
wow.
I gotta pause our
Thank you
stream.
for
I got you.
tuning in and basically
And
us looking like
now,
idiots and stuff like that. So I love it.
I'm not the
Let's
idiot.
re-intro
Not
this
me.
thing, man.
Not me. He's the brains. But all right, go ahead, Phil. Hello.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it down now. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for honestly stay tuned, man. I appreciate that, guys. I had a whole different settings that, of course, everybody gave me the settings that it's supposed to be the way to do it, but I guess it just separated the audio everywhere and somewhere it wanted to be all
Can you
together.
hear me,
So
people?
yeah,
Angelica, Colleen,
we're
I love
gonna
weed.
echo this.
JoJo Gonzalez,
I'm gonna turn it
Gina
down.
Thorne,
I'm gonna turn
Marley
it down.
Greens. What's up, my boy? What's up, my man?
All right, so let me figure out where my headphones got thrown to. Anyways, as we were talking and nobody could hear us, but we were having an amazing conversation, so that was.
Oh yeah, it was. You guys missed it. It was good.
But well, we're
Anyway,
going
I
to
think we
talk
start
about.
back from the top.
Yeah, man, we're going to talk basically about the season in general, man. We're going to talk about the upcoming season, the 53-man roster, and what I was saying in general before was that I'm going to bring some live stuff, and of course we're going to mess up, and we'll see where we mess up in between. So I guess it was right off the bat. So let's get that out of the way. But Brian, hey man, let everybody hear your voice and how pretty.
What's up, everybody? I'm glad to see some familiar faces. Blue Virus, what's up, my man? Mary Alvarez, I know you. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm watching the Eagles game here, and they don't look too good, people. All this, I mean, their subs aren't as good as our backups, that's for sure. And I'm not upset about it.
Man, that is
But how's everybody doing today?
Man, I know me. I am
Roland's
doing a lot better
review.
now that the audio is working.
Well, you have to expect this type of deal. I mean, how many times have you actually hit go live and
That was the
having to
second
deal
time,
with?
and
It's
now
a
I know what it
little.
was though. So that's what's funny is I'm going to
Listen,
advanced settings and.
I was getting my act together earlier, and I had Mark's stream on, and I was doing some stuff, and he had his software was just started going off on him. It just started playing in the background all of his clips. So and he's a pro at it, so it
Yeah,
happens.
got to throw us out. Got to throw us out. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about last night's game. I know there were some guys that stood out to me that made me change my roster opinions. There were some guys that I didn't like during the camp that I thought stood up last night and actually made a name for themselves, like Nashawn Wright for me, Brian. I don't know. Any guys to you that stood out?
I think Nashawn Wright, he had the size last year, but he was always off of the receiver. I wasn't very high on him. I definitely see a major improvement in his game. Now, I don't know that he's going to be a shutdown guy, but I still stick to he's going to make the team. He's going to take the place of CJ Goodwin, and he's going to be one of our cornerbacks. Nice. He's not going to start, but he's an awesome special teamer. But you see, he's got some serious potential, and I think he's only going to get better.
Yeah, I know a guy on the
Definitely.
roster that I didn't have originally was Hendershot. I
Yeah.
honestly he was kind of under the radar for me. I heard
Yeah,
saw
the
his
tight
name
ends.
before. I had heard about people having high expectations for him, and after seeing a little bit of Jason Witten in him, but a little bit faster, I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that get more excited about a third string tight end, compared to a couple of years ago where our third string
For the
tight end
Rock,
was
what's up?
sprinkles and all that good
Um,
stuff.
yeah, I liked Hendershot, and from what I saw on camp, They like him too. I think he's on the team. I think that and we'll get into the positions. I know some of the people, like I'm excited just to get through this process and start the games, but we will get through it. But I think he's on my 53. I
Yeah.
definitely think he's on the team. So
So we'll jump into more of that later. I know in the game last night, I liked the quarterback play. I think that was the up and down. I think the guys that were kind of looking good, like Greer, he did not look so good last night. Where everybody was kind of giving him after that first game, and then the second game he played well. You're like, man, if he
yeah,
had just sat down, I think that would have been
yeah.
the thing for him. But what's your opinion
Jack
about the
Meeker.
backups? What do
Yeah,
you
well,
think?
Jack Meeker, McKeon. I think what's going to happen with McKeon. I think he is a little banged up. I think he's not going to make the initial, but they'll bring him back on the practice squad. But I was not happy with the backup quarterbacks at all. Dak Prescott, please do not get hurt this year. I think Cooper can win you a game like he did last year, especially with how good our defense is. But if Dak gets hurt, um, let's just not go down that road.
He's
We don't
going
want
down
to
a
see
little
the
driveway.
backups.
Yeah,
We do
exactly.
not want to see the backups. Greer, obviously, having the groin injury, has not had enough to practice because he looks real rusty. So I don't think that he's going to be on the initial team, but we'll talk about that. But I think it's going to be Cooper Rush to start off.
I think there's gonna be somebody like
So
that's gonna pop
Dak,
up.
let's go. Stay healthy, big man.
Yeah, I know with some of the guys, we'll jump into the roster, but I like the fact that the defense kept us in the game, and I think that's going to be a theme. Even with the backups being, and I think that's the theme of they're going to be the season. It's going to be the defense keeping us in games in order for our offense to even make some kind of splash, or if they're and I know in previous years this has been the real big thing with them is it takes them a while to kind of get going and so you wonder with some of this offensive line stuff, will they be able to get going? And I think the early success of the running game, I think it really kind of shows you that if you can kind of really throw that in there, you're going to help your offensive line because that's definitely something that they've been very good at compared to the pass protection. It just has not been there, and that's where guys like even Tyler Smith, a first round draft pick that's been amazing with us, that's where he struggles. I mean, what's your
Yeah.
opinion?
Um.
Offensive
Yeah. I
line,
mean,
like
everything you say is true, but like the one thing I do like about Tyler Smith, I think they're going to be fine running the ball. I think they're going to be real fine running the ball, especially uh, if Tyler Smith is playing left tackle. It's still to be determined, but I think everybody knows what the team's going to do. Um, I worry about, and yeah, we just got to stay out of third and long. If we can stay out of third and long and keep our penalties at a minimum,
yeah,
then I think our defense is a championship level
caliber.
defense. Now, like I said, it's the penalties, and a lot's is going to be on Dak's shoulders, especially until Gallup gets back in going. Um, but let's go, right? Let's go. Like enough of the bashing the line. I mean, it is what it is at this point. I don't see a big move coming. I think they're going with the young guys, and let's
Yeah,
run the ball.
I felt pretty confident going into the season, and but I just wanted to see the training camp. I wanted to see these guys in motion. I wanted to see them get off the line. I wanted to see what happens when they fall and trip on the ground. Do they get back up? Do they pursue when they miss the tackle? There's all these little things that, man, it just do these rookies do it? I mean, there's certain people like I really get excited about, like Sam Williams, but I saw some lack of consistently pursuing the ball, even though he
Yeah, but
was making
what's
some plays.
nice? Yeah, but what's nice about this team is you have like a smattering of veterans. You got D-Law, you got Armstrong. Our defensive line is going to be ridiculously scary. So it's fine to have a Sam Williams come in and just learn as he goes, but have unbelievable athletic ability to get to the passer and beat his man just on, his straight, you know, his
Skills,
strength and
yeah, his
skill.
skills
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, I
So
think I think that's
he's
what got him through
he's
college.
gonna be fine. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
just
not
learning the
everybody
moves.
comes out polished, but he's gonna put a hurt. Yeah, who are you gonna double team on that line?
Yeah,
I mean, from what I'm hearing, they're gonna have if four guys standing up, almost like a hybrid, they're not going to know where they're coming from. Now, we have to stop the run. If we stop the other team's run, it's going to be a fun year, people, because not many offenses are going to be able to take advantage of that. I mean, with Anthony Barr,
Yeah,
Michael
I'm
Parsons,
liking the
I mean,
linebacking core. I
it's
was
pretty
iffy.
impressive.
I was very iffy about the linebacking core, but it's amazing how you add at least a good piece like Anthony Barr, and it makes you feel better about a trio back there. You know.
And depending on the down and distance, you're not going to have to play your traditional linebackers. So you just might have some pass rushers coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
The A gap,
And well,
just
I get excited about the fact that Kurtz can come down there and play inside the linebacker position, allowing another defensive lineman maybe to jump out into that outside linebacker position and get more pressure on the.
allowing,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
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 Parsons, allowing Parsons basically.
allowing our cornerbacks to blitz and
Yes.
have Curse or Parsons or Barr, you know, shoot out and cover that receiver for that, 1 second that the quarterback has 1.5 seconds to get rid of the ball. It's exciting.
Yeah,
I mean, I love a good offense and it's all fun, but championships are won on the defensive side of the ball.
that's true. That's
They
true.
just are.
Defense wins
So
championships.
we are excited to have the defense we have, and I'm ready for that, man. I
So
can't wait for the game to start.
yeah, I mean, I see some guys that are consistently making plays inside that defense, and it does get me excited as well. So, I know I'm excited. I'm ready to get into this roster, like see who you think is going to make it compared to me. And
Marley Greens, what's up, my
I know
man?
right off the bat, yeah, Marley. I know right off the bat, Clement Man, our defense will
Gina
carry us. I
Thorne,
agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah,
Jack
that's definitely.
Maker. I talked to Jack on Twitter. What's up, buddy?
Thank you
Rock,
for joining us,
Rock,
Jack. Yeah, he
Porter
was here for our
Rock. We're
first show. I
coming to
appreciate
Big
that.
D Rock. We're coming. I don't know when yet, but we're definitely coming. We'll let you know.
Yeah, I honestly I appreciate all you guys joining us, and I appreciate Mark shooting people towards us as well too, man.
Yeah,
That
well,
guy's doing a
Mark,
big help, big
yeah,
help.
Mark's the man. He's the hardest working man in YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
he's always yeah he's hitting us up. He's just like, you gonna be here? You gonna be there? And I'm like,
And don't let anybody fool you, people.
yes, I agree.
I was walking around the mall with Mark, and I could barely keep
He
up
walks
with him.
fast.
And I walk 10, 12 miles in a day on my route. So this man, bad knees and all, flies around. He's definitely got the spunk. So
Yeah, I know that I've been watching Mark for a long time. I was trying to remember back what I watched him on first. Was it Facebook?
you've
I
known him longer than I have.
I've
I just got to meet. I just got to get closer with him because of going to Dallas
and I actually
and
just more recently
a few
got
near
him.
death experiences.
Yeah.
It's
That's why I'll
funny how
never
that
let you
brings
down.
people together.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. But one thing, okay, let's talk about the roster. That's what I want to talk about. Let's jump into the
All right.
roster. For
All right,
quarterback, let's just
yeah.
right
What do
off the
you
bat for
guys
quarterback.
got? I mean, I want to hear in the chat. I mean, what do you think? Who's going to make the team? But Phil, go ahead first,
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what I
Mary
think.
Alvarez. I don't. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to bring the live stream, but I really appreciate you trying to give me a super chat. I will jump into all that and try to figure out all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate it. I just want to be able to put good
Yeah,
content
we
out
just
there.
want to create good content
Yeah,
and to go from there.
and that's where I was working. You can ask Brian. I've been bothering him all week about, oh, look at this, what I designed, and look at this, and so I've been pretty
Yeah,
excited
I
about
can't
putting.
see any of it, people.
Yeah,
So I can't see any of it. I'll watch it back and see how all of his hard work. But
I
yeah. So let's
appreciate
get
that.
into the
So thank you.
quarterbacks.
Quarterback, I barely have him going in there, and he got on last year, but I got Dak Prescott making this team. I don't know about you, um,
Yeah,
but no.
I think it needs to say Daxon.
Yeah, so that's an automatic. But I think me and you are going to disagree with the backup because we were disagreeing already yesterday. And I know I get excited about Will Greer. Will Greer is my guy. I loved him when he came from Carolina. You know, he didn't really have much there. He started for us. He didn't play great, but, you know, he showed some flashes compared to other guys that kind of just sit there and just everything's kind of slow for them. And I think that's the big thing with Cooper Rush. Danucci had a new energy, and I love that about him. That's what makes him a little bit of a, is it different? I didn't get to see him in any kind of camp, so, I'm going
Yeah,
off the games.
so you're only going with so yes, you're going with two
I'm going with two
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks. I'm just going with two quarterbacks. I'm going to go Dak Prescott and Will Greer. That's who I'm going with.
Yeah, yeah. I liked Greer too. I think he's still nursing his groin. I think Cooper Rush. I think at the end of the day, the coaches are going to fall back on what he did last year in Minnesota. They're not going to. I don't think they're going to keep three active quarterbacks on game day. So I
No.
think they go Dak
Who did
and Cooper Rush,
Cooper Rush. And
and
they bring back. Who do they bring back?
I think they bring back two. I think they bring back
Both of them.
Greer and Danucci.
I think
Both of them will be on the practice
I
squad.
think Cooper Rush is the only one that walks away from this whole situation.
And like I said, that could happen. I'm just going with the season is 2 weeks away. I think he won them a game, and I just think Greer, he looked a little shaky, but
Yeah.
he will be on the team. He
I
won't
want to
be
see him
picked
with
up.
some first stringers. That's what I want to see him with. I don't want him. It's different when you have all five linemen being
Mark
like,
Combs
you don't
sent me
know.
here.
Is he coming over? He's migrating.
No. I'm looking at the chat.
Oh, I had to hit it, so I think he might be joining.
Yeah. They want more mods. More mods.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll have to figure out as well too. So I guess
Thomas A. Garrett, what's up? We're coming to Tennessee. We're coming. We're coming to the Tennessee game. Well, at least I'm coming with Mark.
Yeah.
We will be there.
Okay, I'm like looking.
USMC 0331. Thanks for your service, my man.
Willie Vassar. We'll definitely talk about the corners here in a little bit, but I'm kind of with you on that one. But I just wanted to make sure. I think we'll probably have
Carolina Cowboys 74. Mark Holmes raid.
Yep, that's basically.
I love weed.
So let's move over to the running backs then. The running backs being the next on the list. Of course, we got the big contract with Zeke Elliott. He's definitely going to be on the year. I think the next following year, of course, me and you were on this very same page about him and his restructuring of a contract. Kind of the same thing as D-Law did this past year. And so I could definitely see him being back. But as of this year, definitely Zeke, definitely Pollard. How many running backs? Who do you have?
I have three.
You have three.
And I got Zeke, Pollard, and Rico. And I just think that they're going to try and get Malik Davis onto the practice squad. As much as I love, no, I think the running back position is so devalued in this league that I think it will work with him. Now, as we get further along into our 53, I think we will be able to get Malik on the team. Now, you know how I feel about Malik Davis. I love the kid, but just going by what they did last night. Now, this isn't what I would necessarily do. This is what I think they're going to do. So let's keep that clear. So that's what I think they're going to do. I think Malik will be on the practice squad. Rico will be on the initial 53. But I think they only went with two last year. So if they want to go heavy, if they want to go heavy in some of these other positions and keep somebody that we don't want on the team, when we'll get to that, then they can only go two. But I'm going to say three.
Yeah, I'm going to go three as well. And I think we're agreeing with this one. I look at the fact that when you look at the two running backs with Zeke and Pollard, it's which one is it harder to replace? And when you look at Pollard, oh man, everybody's on the same page in the sense of get him open in space. Let's get him the ball in space. How many other people in our team is the same way? Get him in space and he'll make something happen. A lot of guys on our team. How many of them can truck people over? How many people can get that extra yard or two? Not very many. And if Zeke is to get hurt again, I want an option to allow Zeke to sit down, even though he may not want to. But I want to be able to continue going with our offense and not have
That's why I like Malik, but I'm thinking,
I like Rico. It just sucks because I think I'm with you in the same sense that I think even with him here and if he gets some action, I see him getting hurt. Hurt. And that's why you're going to want somebody like Malik Davis on the practice squad.
Yeah, but just remember this, people, as much as I love Malik, getting a running back is not the hardest thing to do. I think the smartest thing to do, because Rico has some serious burst, I think, Malik is ultimately may have a higher ceiling. It's easier, God forbid, that somebody picks up Malik, but just going by what the Cowboys do, they only keep two usually. Last year
Mhm.
they only kept two, and then they added a third like couple games in. So
I
that's what we got. Let's hope that Malik he makes it back to us.
yeah.
So where we going next? Wide
So we're going.
receivers?
Actually, I'm going to continue. I'm going to go down into the line area, and we're going to go ahead and go tight ends before we go offensive line. But maybe we go offensive line and then go tight end, and then go wide
It
receiver.
doesn't
That
matter.
makes
Let's
more
go.
sense.
Okay.
Let's go
Well, you
offensive line.
started off. Okay.
So I have as my starting offensive line, unfortunately, is going to be Tyler Smith on the left tackle. I have Connor McGovern at the left guard, Tyler Biotish at center, Zach Martin, of course, and then Terrence Steele. And those are my starters. And unfortunately, of course, I don't want
Yeah,
Tyler
that's
Smith over
easy.
there.
I agree with that.
My backups, I
This
only
is where
brought
it gets
four.
a little shaky, but
Yeah, I
you're
bring four
gonna.
right now because I have a trade later to get another one. So I'm bringing Matt Forniak or Fornia or something like that. Unfortunately, I'm keeping Josh Ball because he's better than absolutely nothing. I guess we could put a trash can out there, maybe be the same effect, but then I have Matt Walesko, and then you know, last night I had Isaac Alarcon on there.
Well,
Um,
yeah, but isn't that yeah? But don't it? I mean, isn't there a
yeah,
54 spot for
but
him?
that's what I'm saying. I had him
Yeah,
originally on
so
there
he's
because he
not.
didn't
Yeah,
have anything, but
yeah,
to me they will release and bring him back because I mean I
yeah.
think if he would have shown some flashes last night instead of on the
He's
opposite
gotten
side,
better.
yeah, and I think the injury there kind of just like
He's
okay, let's
definitely
bring this guy
got
back,
better.
yeah,
Yeah, Jack Meeker, we got to go with tackle backup. I agree with you. Now, just remember when I rattle off mine, these last couple spots could easily be flipped,
hmm
and we're gonna get somebody off of somebody's either a trade for like a body for a body or somebody who gets released. That's
yeah,
very possible. But what I got the same starting line as you do. Um, I got I got Avante Collins making the team. So I do have him making the team to play right tackle. Unfortunately, I got Josh Ball making the team. I think they go heavy with O line because of the Tyler Smith. He going to left tackle. I got Farniak. He's going to be the backup for the center, and that's what I got. I mean,
yeah, I agree too. I
but
think there could be something
yeah,
later
but
on.
my guy is Avante Collins is going to make this team. I have Tyron. I mean, I have
I, I,
Waletzko making the team.
and
You know,
right in the beginning,
yeah.
I have Tyrone Smith, of course, coming on
I
to
think
be moved
Avante
to
Collins
the
is better than Ball right
yeah
now, playing
to be
tackle, and that's the problem. But I think they're going to keep Ball.
yeah. So
You
obviously these
know,
guys are going. There's something going to be released um, that just to leave for Tyrone Smith to be moved to IR, James Washington, those kind of guys. So there's going to be spots that you may see somebody drop off and drop back on. Um,
yeah, like Avante Collins can only make the team for 2 days, and then if they pick somebody else up, that's better. Then Josh Ball could be released if they find somebody else. But as of now, I have all those guys making the team. Now, with the same starters. So, you
uh,
know,
well, let's move to tight end. How many tight ends do you have on the team?
I got them going with just by my numbers, how I did my 53. I have them having four tight ends.
Four
I
tight
know
ends.
that's a lot, but just remember we don't have a fullback, which um,
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Ferguson is gonna play some fullback.
I'm okay with
Um,
that.
so I think we're going four tight ends, which is Schultz, Ferguson, Hendershot, and I think they keep McKeon on the 53 just because of the shortage of receivers that we're going to have, and we're getting to that,
When
and
you
I'll
have yours,
explain
okay.
why.
So I
Yeah,
have on mine, I have three tight ends on it. I have Schultz, Ferguson, and Hendershot. And I was really I was
it's
really
amazing,
battling.
right? How
Yeah.
he it's amazing how he came out of nowhere. No, I've
Yeah.
noticed him for the last couple of weeks, but it is amazing. He's
Yeah.
made too many plays to be released. He won't get back there.
No, 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 not at all. I think McEwen obviously will be released to be brought back onto the practice squad. And so I say that with the whole line, the offensive line, the tight ends, because that's going to be big to help our running game, to help Dak Prescott. We need, there were some guys I think liability wise that were on this team that the blocking is always iffy, whether it was offensive line or even tight end. I mean, Sprinkles was
Right.
released, and Sprinkles to me like big body that can get some tight, but he wasn't a guy that was going up like a Gonzalez or something like that you could just throw to, and then oh, he got in the first down. So I think not having that, blocking is kind of iffy. I think that was very easily to release him going
Yeah,
into
Thomas
that game.
Garrett. I hear you. Hendershot came out of nowhere. I mean, I liked him in practice, and from what I was seeing, but you're right. He's made too many plays, and the dude just gets open, and
Yeah.
he's got a nasty streak
I was
about
gonna
him. I
say he
mean,
looked nasty last night. He looked just
you know,
like he could have played without
and
his helmet. Like a little Witten,
I
I thought
watched
that.
his, and him and Jake Ferguson are really close, and I just think he's going to make the team. I'm not going to be upset if McKeon gets cut. I'm just looking at what they're going to do and looking at their last few final 53s. I think McKeon's on the team.
Hold on,
I think
I
he's
got
done
Mark
too
coming over.
much.
I got Mark coming over. Let me switch this real quick. We're gonna go to this view here, and that's Mark on his live thing, and we're gonna go ahead and bring it over here.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
They're going to do,
So
and looking at their last few
let me see. I
final,
gotta move.
I think McKeon.
There we go. What's going on, Mark?
Man, I was sitting here. It killed the
Sorry about
stream
that.
at my. Okay, I killed the stream at my house, and then I had to go upstairs because I've got two pork shoulders that I started smoking about 6 o'clock.
You gonna get on? You really gonna get on the channel and just start talking like that? Really?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
I
we're in
ate
the
already,
beginning part of
so
the
we're good.
I
roster.
had to get some more charcoal and some more oak wood up in there, and some more apple juice in the wash and stuff, and make sure that the meats are nice and tender. Because we've been talking about the Cuban subs, so it's like I want a Cuban sub. Since I'd been sick and all that, I've been thinking about it. I said, you know what, I need to do a little practicing to get
Yeah,
ready for the
yeah,
stick
yeah.
over.
Yeah,
Okay, because
Oh, I'm
I
looking
think
forward to
my
that.
man Brian's coming down. I got to make sure the food's primo. Food's
yeah.
got
I'm
to be
sure it will
primo.
be, my man. I'm sure it'll be good. I'll tell you one thing. This is bang bang shrimp.
Oh
That was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That was
Well,
good.
they were okay because we had just finished driving through
Oh
the night,
well,
got back
yeah,
home, and it's like I need
yeah.
to feed all these
But that's
people.
like I'm a sweet heat type of guy. So
Well,
that's up my alley.
well, that's
So
that's what this pulled pork. It's got a
yeah,
little kick to it, but it's also
yeah,
sweet
yeah.
too.
When I make it around here, I got to leave the kick out and kind of add my own kick. So
Okay, all right.
everybody's wimps around here.
Yeah. So, I was listening in a little bit with you guys and stuff. I heard you about Hendershot. Hendershot. I don't know how he was shot out of somewhere. All of a sudden, that guy. Wow.
Yeah,
You,
I'm
Yeah,
you,
liking it.
he's
you now understand why Jeremy Sprinkles was released, was one of the first releases. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
he was
well.
injured, but it's amazing how 2 years ago we were looking and saying safeties and tight ends, we don't have anybody. And all of a sudden you start looking and saying, between Jake Ferguson's and now Hendershot, it's like, did that guy just make the team from what he did last night?
They've
If
been,
that for me it did. I know I
yeah,
didn't have him. Remember I was talking to you guys, and I was like, I need another tight end. I don't know who I'm gonna put on there. And then he comes shooting. Yeah, like you said, like just
I
shooting out of
think
nowhere.
that they always liked him. Like the word I heard in camp is they loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we saw last night is what he's been doing. He's been hustling.
The
He's
guy's
decent
tough.
blocker. Yeah, and he did what I mean it had to have changed your mind because he did way too much last night to be able to cut him.
Well, here's
He's
what was crazy was his helmet, his chin strap
oh, did you hear the story? Yeah,
I
I
didn't
heard
hear
it.
about. I didn't hear about it.
pads
Go ahead.
flew out of it. So he grabbed Dalton Schultz's
Yeah.
helmet, threw it on, and he was wearing Dalton Schultz's helmet when he went into the end zone.
My first thought
Staph
was
infection, be damn. Okay.
yeah, well, my first thought was, is the NFL going to get involved? Because why is, because that's the whole thing about these helmets. They got to be really,
Mm-hmm.
fit perfectly. And with the head injuries, why is he not have a helmet? So I'm not saying they're going to do anything, but they're probably going to make a call and say, what's going on here, guys? Helmet, because if people have gotten hurt, that's an issue. So,
Jack Meeker has a great point. Since we're all East Coast guys, that maybe a trip to East Rutherford for the Dallas game.
yeah,
When is that one?
it's the third game of the year.
I mean, that's only about 5 hours from me. That
Yeah,
could be a possibility.
yeah. Yeah, I was there last year. I mean,
I've been there before. The tickets should be cheap because I think the Giants are going to be ass.
yeah. Well, if
Yeah, but
we'll
everybody's
see.
gonna
I
come
mean,
to
you
see
can
the
always get
Cowboys.
tickets.
That's usually that's why even with
Well,
Jacksonville,
yeah,
I
it
got
was
I got
Cowboys
Dallas.
Central.
Yeah, I got Dallas going to Jacksonville, and I'm like, oh man, I can do some of that, and then no, not with Dallas. I'm like, man, that's gonna be packed.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
mm,
So I'm
like I
trying to
said, I think I've
think.
been to 3 or 4 games there
In Jacksonville?
before. No, not in
No.
Oh, okay.
Jacksonville. No, I mean in New York.
MetLife.
I
Yeah.
have been.
I
I've
went
been.
to
I've been to a game in Jacksonville.
I went to Mark's, or I went to a game with Mark, and then the following week I went to the Meadowlands, and it was, the weather was totally different. It was kind of chilly, but at least it's the third game of the year, so it is what it is.
Sorry. As you
Um,
guys are talking, I'm like messing with the cameras and stuff, so it's like
Yeah.
getting me.
okay.
So we covered the tight ends,
Yep.
Okay.
So
So let's go
I would
over
say
to the
go
wide
to
receivers, right?
yeah, let's go to wide receivers. This
Hmm.
is where I think that Washington is going to cause a problem for us. Um, because the rule is you have to keep him on the 53, then move him to IR, which is going to cost somebody, like a roster spot. I mean, I got CD, I got Tolbert, I
Okay.
got Fajoko,
Hmm.
I got Noah Brown, just
Yeah.
because they're in love with him and he plays special teams.
Hmm.
He, you have to have Gallup. It seems like Gallup's going to be on the opening 53. I mean, he has to be
He has to be on
anyway,
the. Well, that's the plan. At least they have until Tuesday. They could put him on the pup list.
but he has to make the initial. Oh, yeah, and if he's see, that's the thing. If he goes
Um,
on the pup, which I would rather, because
I'm
we're going to
almost
lose
thinking
my.
that they might do that with James Washington, though.
Okay, so and then so I have CD Tolbert, Fajoko, Noah
Mhm.
Brown, Gallup, and Washington. So if Washington goes on pup, so he doesn't have to be on the initial 53, then, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
He don't.
Right.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
so if that's the case, then
I want to say
I
that's the
think
case. Hold on
Houston
a
makes the
second.
team.
Hmm.
That's
So
not
then I would say Houston
okay.
makes the team.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of wide receivers, and I'm adding. So I have C.D. Lamb, Michael Gallup. I think Michael Gallup makes it back by the first game of the season, but obviously I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't, and that's why I have the roles that I have. Jalen Tolbert, I have going on.
Hmm.
They're not going to just waste the draft pick right there. They're going to kind of let
No,
him
yeah,
develop.
no, he's on.
Simi
Yeah.
Fehoko, I definitely
Hmm.
like the pick. I love, I want to see him with Dak. I know he's going to have his drops. He'll have his things as well, too. But
Hmm.
I'm excited to see what plays he makes this year because I definitely think people will get excited afterwards.
Yeah.
I have Noah Brown making this team as well.
Hmm.
It's
Because
it's
he's
just
got
going to be a
experience with that.
reliable guy that they can feel they can rely on. Dennis Houston, I do actually have him making it just because he's a security blanket for Dak.
Right.
Even if it's very short routes and the inside and stuff. And Turpin, I have as our punt and kick returner as a separate
Yeah, he's
position,
not.
Special teams. Yeah.
but
Yeah, I don't have him as a receiver on my 53.
yeah,
So
I have him
Yeah.
as
he's
my
not
punt
going to
returner,
be in
but
my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he'll still be out there doing things, and so I think
Yeah, but I mean, when we do how many receivers, he's going to be, the kick and
yeah,
punt
he's the kick
returns.
returner.
Hmm.
So I have
Yeah.
6 receivers on the roster. That's how I have it. I think just in the sense that you got the running game, you got some good guys that can start the running game for you. You got
Hmm.
some good tight ends that you can rely on, and then just you need to find out who you can rely on in the receivers before you start letting people go and and just basically bringing somebody else in. I don't know how long James Washington's going to be out, so when he comes back, his guys like that Dennis Houston, maybe he's not making much of a splash. Finally get released to be put on the
Then he could.
practice
Yeah.
squad. So
Yeah.
so with that, I mean, I have
No
guys like.
surprises there, I would
No.
say. There's
I
not
don't
many
think so. No.
surprises there.
And I think
Um,
it's because the offense is so like we need stars. We need more people. We need we
Hmm.
got some stars there, but we need more people to kind of the meats and the potatoes of it, and I think that's what we're definitely lacking in some the backups in that sense. Um, so long snapper I have being released as well too, so that'll leave some room before they bring him back, and they're able to put like guys like Tyrone Smith on in IR.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
let's
McQuaid
get
will be released and resigned, so we'll be able to have initial, like an extra spot. He won't make the team initially.
I showed that. Let's go ahead and move to the defense because I think this is where I think there's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
differences.
Oh, it's gonna be hell on the
Yeah,
defense.
you're going to release somebody. They're going to eventually come back. They're going to play against you, and they're probably just going to rock your quarterback, or they're going to do something. And they're like, and then you're going to have a group of Cowboy fans. That are going to be like, we shouldn't have never let him go. And but you
Can't
can't
keep
get them all right.
everybody.
Exactly.
You can't
You
keep
can't keep
everybody.
everybody.
So what part do you want to start? Do you want to start on the backside and work our way up to the
Let's go
more?
with the cornerback.
Okay.
Everybody
There
wants
you
to
go.
talk a cornerback, so let's go cornerback.
Okay,
I
I'll
got
so
take a nap
Brown.
till we get to the defensive line. No.
Yeah, we're gonna save the best for last.
There you go.
Yeah, I got Brown, Lewis, Diggs. I think Bland
I
makes
think
it in.
Bland's definitely there.
Yeah, and I think Joseph is going to make it.
I think Joseph is actually might go on IR because of the
he's going to
concussions
make it, and then
that
we move
save
to
his
IR.
case.
Yep. Now you have to wait though, right, Mark? You have to wait. He has to make the initial 53 and then
No,
go to
I don't
IR.
think so.
I think you
Because
do. IR has to go through the
that
roster, and then you get to move
that's
to IR,
what
and then you can bring
happened.
somebody
That's
back.
what was
okay,
changed,
but
Mark.
see, you got a guy like
Tyrell
I mean,
Smith.
because you could have had Michael Gallup put on the PUP list.
Yeah,
Because
but
he's
they
unable
did. But
to
they
perform.
wanted to. Yeah, it's true. But because
So
there's
you could do
in
the
the
same
pup
thing with
list, the pup list
Good.
they have
Yeah,
like
well,
certain things like 3 weeks, 6 weeks, stuff like that, right? I mean,
Right.
They have to be.
Yeah,
I
I
think
would
it's
put
4
Gallup
weeks.
on the pup. I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's who I have as far as corner. I
So
mean, but if like Mark is saying that I could put him right to, see, I was under the impression that he has to make the 53, and then
that's
after
what I'm
24
thinking as
hours,
well.
like designated. I thought that's what I read. That's what I said. Like things have changed, but
Okay. Then that's an update I didn't know. FYI, the Bills have released their punter
Yeah, with all that
with all the
allegations
drama
and
on there.
well, listen, he's a
drama.
punter. At the end of the
Well, that
day,
was the guy that
if
was like
if
kicking field goals from distances and punting, and like there was a lot of guys that were high on him. I know.
They were calling him like the punting god or something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
well,
that's what happened.
Yeah.
Thinking that way. But okay, so I'm gonna jump my corners. My corners is Diggs, Brown. Those are your starters. Jordan Lewis, I have coming back. Joseph, I do have making it on until we throw him wherever. Um, Deron Bland, I have as well. And I think if you're getting rid of C.J. Goodwin, and you're no
yes,
longer going to
Goodwin's
have
gone.
him, then replacing him with Wright is not such a bad idea. Because
Well, that's my thing. He wasn't going to make my DB, but he's going to slide into the CJ Goodwin spot, and obviously he can play corner,
yeah,
and he's going to develop more as a corner while being a great special teamer.
I do like the
so.
fact that he, again, like I said, he's on the hip. It's not like he's being beat like by routes. It's not like he's like oh, he's still running 5 yards that way.
Hey,
while
the Eagles
wide
scored.
receiver was going. Did they? I didn't. I have a holding call,
Finally, I'm behind a little bit, but
so I got a holding
yeah.
call, so they called it back. First and goal though.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
Sorry,
Philly.
This broadcast, no.
Yeah. So, Mark, so what was going on in your stream? Were they bitching? I mean, how's Philly 500 handling this?
Oh, you know what? It's so funny because
It don't mean nothing to them.
When we were playing against Denver, and we said it's just preseason. You know how all the talking heads were out there. Mike McCarthy needs to be fired. 17 penalties. They're terrible. Eagle fans came in, they trolled the hell out of us and told us how much we sucked, right? And we kept saying, dudes, they were our backups in preseason. We haven't played a starter in preseason. And as much as we ended up winning the game yesterday and stuff, I still say don't get too excited or too upset by what you see in preseason because it is preseason.
How many times do you get way worked up, and then when the regular season starts, you don't really see those stars of the preseason? It's like, okay,
you don't.
So
but when you go down 27-0 in the first half, and the thing that's funny to me is, the Eagle fans, it's just preseason. It's just preseason. It's
can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing that's kind of funny is like, oh, well, they were playing their starters. Yeah, well, Seattle played their starters last night too. Yeah. But you kept telling me that like Jordan Davis was playing 2 series in there, that Jordan Davis is unblockable, that he's a one-man wrecking crew. And last week he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
This week he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, you know how that's.
And here's
Flashes,
what
I
I'm
think
going
I'd
to
be
tell you: the
flashes.
problem for the Eagles is going to be is as I'm looking at these guys, they look like the Dallas Cowboys defense of 2020 that they didn't have pursuit angles, they didn't know how to tackle, they look like they're jogging around, and I'm kind of like, you're guys that are supposed to be trying to make a roster. Y'all look like ass.
Eagles defense reminds me of a defense that are playing as individuals.
Fourth and goal.
I think that's what you're going to see when the season starts. There's no way that you could come together. You've played no games together. I mean, there's a lot of guys pulled from all over, and I'm excited to see teams take advantage of them because I think Philly's going to go from hero to zero real quick with some of these guys because it's not, you just can't flip a switch in the NFL. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand we didn't play anybody, but we had an established defense and we brought everybody we wanted to bring back, minus Randy Gregory. And we added to it, I think, big time with Barr, with Fowler Jr., Dante Fowler. I mean, I'm Sam Williams. Come on.
Yeah, it looks like our chat's definitely excited about the defense. I mean, I love we with the young pups of the Cowboys D are hungry.
The fat boys.
Yeah, I mean, getting the right ones.
Fat boys are back.
Jack Meeker, actually, loving our secondary. Our safety
sack of Sam Williams, that was against the starter. And he just literally manhandled and just grabbed over top of him.
And he was being held. And he was being held as he was doing his thing. And he got another tackle as well, the same exact way. You give
Sam Williams. You give Sam Williams to a guy like Dan Quinn, who's got all that ability, and he just needs to be molded into a football player. I mean, football player is in learning more techniques. It's going to be fun. He's going to put a hurt on some of these quarterbacks. Because, they're probably going to want to double D-Law sometime. I mean, shit, I'm hearing D-Law is going to be coming and rushing through the middle on the line. In certain, could you imagine?
Talking about that
I mean, he didn't do that much of that.
Down a tackle and have Micah out there as outside linebacker or defensive end.
That may extend his career too, because he's standing up a little more. I know that's not his forte, but I think that could extend his career a little bit.
They had him doing a little bit of that last year, and basically that's the difference of being a 3-4 versus a 4-3.
Right.
Marcus Ware basically was a 2-point stance too, as an outside linebacker.
Sam
I mean, in the end, you're still really basically an edge rusher. The difference is from time to time you may drop into the coverage, but more times than not, you're going after the quarterback.
I can see the Dr. Seuss stuff already. Can you sack the quarterback, Sam? I am. Can you get in there for Deron Bland? Bam.
Let me say shout out to everybody in the chat there. I see Roland. I love
everybody's
Mary, quite contrary, Marley Greens, Thomas Garrett, Angelica Barron, and I love weed passing the Dutchie from the left. All right, so let's get back rolling in here.
So we have Meeker was on the right track. He was talking about the safeties. Were years before I would have probably been like, let's just keep 2 and then see what happens. And now I'm just like, I don't want to get rid of any of them.
We're rolling out a bunch.
I want to keep them all. Just got to collect them all. Like just my safeties. Like.
Well, here's the thing that also you got to also look at too, because they do have that heavy nickel package, and sometimes they end up using the safety as kind of a hybrid where they're kind of like between a linebacker and a safety and so on. So I'm not sure that they'll get rid of any of those, because if we do have a problem, if Anthony Barr does have injury issues, if you've got Van Der Esch with the neck issues and things like that, you can take Jaron Curse and basically make him a linebacker and end up bringing in a Marquez Bell to be your safety and not really skip a beat. So that's one of the good things.
Donovan Wilson also, he adds that same type of in the box type guy.
Right. Guys that can definitely help run support. Because I think what's going to happen is the Cowboys are looking at this as being too deep and bringing in fresh guys that are going to be able to keep running and going after these guys and wearing out teams. You're going to see teams. You're going to see this team as a fourth quarter team on defense.
Yeah.
Because they will physically wear out the other teams. The other teams are just going to get tired.
Yeah. I'm looking at Curse. Yeah. McQuamu.
Yeah.
Hooker. Donovan Wilson and Marquez Bell. Those are my guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going with.
Mukwamu, Wilson, Bell. I got
Yeah.
five of them.
Mhm.
I mean,
I feel like you
that's an
can,
easy.
two of them at least can do safety stuff, if not four of them. So,
Right.
uh,
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have too many surprises.
no.
Hmm.
Just
And
looking at it, like when we get to the D line and the D ends, that's I'm worried about my boy, but we'll get to it.
There you go.
so let's move
Hmm.
over. Let's move to the next one because I think the safeties, everybody's kind of on it. We definitely love
Yeah,
what we
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
here. I love the young guys
Yeah.
that can learn from Malik Hooker after having a season to recover, and he was looking good toward the end of the season. So I'm very excited to see what Malik Hooker does. Kind of remind me a lot with coming from the Colts. He would remind me a lot of Bob Sanders, where when he was in, he was making plays, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah, make no mistake, Malik Hooker's a ball hawking safety.
Yeah.
He's just been injured.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited for him.
So let's
right,
move
so
to the
what we got,
linebackers.
Phil?
The linebackers is what we're going to go to next.
One thing here,
Go ahead.
and this might change things a little bit. Israel aggravated his groin per report.
Really?
Groin
that-
injury
in
is
the
always
game?
iffy.
Mm,
Yeah.
Got 2 weeks to go into it, so if you
Yeah.
don't do anything for the 2 weeks, you could definitely be back.
I would say he'll make the 53, and obviously
He's supposed to be
maybe not
getting
the 46.
Okay, well, here's the thing. He's supposed to be getting MRI on Saturday.
Yeah, well, they're going to do that with everything, so I'm not extremely worried about it.
Yeah, they probably are part owners in the MRA company. Or something.
Yeah, right, right. And you can rent it out for your fantasy football draft if you want.
Mhm.
So,
That's it. I'm trying
yeah, I got Parsons,
Okay.
Barr, Van Der Esch, Cox, and Devin Harper. Those are my linebackers.
Okay, I have 5 linebackers. I have Parsons, Van Der Esch, Anthony Barr. I actually got Luke Gifford and Story Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Story has enough. Just maybe he'll stay on the roster until and he'll probably be one of those ones that are released when you get.
Yeah,
somebody
Gifford's
else in.
going to make the team,
Well, the question
but
is,
he's going to be a special team.
teams.
No,
because
that's where I don't have him on the team.
Yeah, because Luke Gifford can still play
Yeah.
special teams.
Yeah,
That's
Gifford's on the
reason
team.
Why he's been here as long as he's been. Luke did not look great last night. I think he had 1 tackle, but we do have a lack of
Well,
of
yeah, like you
linebackers
said,
out
Mark, though, I'm going with those 5. I have Gifford as one of my special team spots on the team, but I'm going with those 5 for the exact reason what you said, that we got Curse, we got a Donovan Wilson, we got other. You got a Mukwamu, and now he's banged up, but we have guys that are big and physical that can slide up.
Right.
So I'm going to go less, in the linebackers.
Nice.
Yep.
And and we'll be able to get some of these young guys.
You're making room for somebody else. I know. I see.
Yeah, you have to go short. Somewhere.
Go short someplace.
Right.
One guy that I do have in there, which I think is making an elevated thing, I didn't have on there, which somebody brings up, is I'm taking Story Jackson off because I don't know why I didn't have Cox in there. I had
Jabril.
Cox.
I don't know why
I had him.
up. So I'm
That
taking him
happens,
off.
man.
Yeah.
You're
To the channel.
you're
thing,
knee
so.
deep in graphics.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much for that, Marley Green. Appreciate that. So sorry, Story. I know I just let you know that you just made the team, but I'm gonna have to let you go right away.
I hear you, Weed.
Yeah.
Gifford, the special teams. That's it. Yeah, I have him
So-
on the team. I have a spot for him.
Yeah, so I appreciate that.
Uh oh, Miami's getting ready to score
You're right, you're
again.
right. I don't know where I was thinking that. I saw it on here. I see it in 2nd and goal right now. So defensive line.
There you go,
man.
Mark.
This is
I
where
I want to know what Mark's
See,
because
Mark, you're gonna
there's
start
some
off. Here we go.
scariness here.
Here we
Okay.
go.
I think Ridgeway and Ballamore are both going to be there. Actually, Ridgeway. Here's the problem for interior defensive linemen. You don't think about them unless they get a penalty. They don't get a lot of sacks. They don't get a lot of tackles. But what they do is clog up the middle. Ballamore has actually played better than Ridgeway. Ridgeway is still very, very raw, but I don't see them getting rid of him. Looking, of course, we know Novell Gallimore, we know Osa are both going to probably be our starters right now in there. I don't see losing either of them. Surprise guy, turned the narrative around. Tristan Hill definitely is going to be there. Unfortunately, I don't think I don't think that Carlos
Bohanna? Yeah, no.
is going to make it. I think that's what you're going to have right there as your
How about
interior.
Quentin Bohanna?
I said Quentin
Yeah.
Bohanna
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you then. I have what
and
you got.
Ridgeway, and I
Yeah.
got Osa, I got Tristan Hill, I got Neville Gallimore.
And I got Tristan Hill with a possible move
That's what I
to
have.
be traded.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have as
So,
well.
but I have exactly what Mark's got. I got Watkins and I have Golston being cut. We are forgetting about Golston.
Well, but he's
So,
an edge rusher, so I'm looking interior.
Well, I'm
okay.
doing the whole
Well, but he
defensive
did
line. I'm doing
move
the whole
in
defensive
now,
line.
Oh,
Mark.
okay. All right. So then if you're talking about putting the edge rushers and outside linebackers, then is what you're also talking then
Yes,
too,
yes. Give it to
because
me.
they'll
Give
be
it to me.
doing the 4-3-3-4
Yes.
hybrid.
Yep.
But now here's the problem: is now you've got this is where it's really hard because you hate to get rid of edge rushers. Okay, we know D-Law, of course, is going to make the
Yeah.
roster. Okay, we know Sam Williams is because they invested in number 2 pick. You look at it and say, Dorrance Armstrong, they just got the new contract. He had the 5 sacks last year. I believe he's going to be there. You end up saying Dante Fowler.
Right.
Fowler has played well, and I think he's going to be on there. I think Basham, which I really don't want to get rid of Basham. Basham has played well in the preseason games, but I think he's not going to make it.
I
And
think
that
Basham may be that vested veteran type of deal where they can bring him back after.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't pick him up, that's the
Right.
problem.
Well,
And Goldston,
yeah.
I think they hold on to because again they ended up getting the 3rd round pick for him, even though that was the extra pick that came from Philadelphia. So
yeah.
Mine is
I'm
gonna
looking
look a little
at
different.
Okay.
I actually keep a lot. I skimmed on other areas just so I could keep more defensive linemen.
Okay.
I fell in love with a lot of these guys. Of course, D-Law. You got Dante Fowler on the other side. Osa Odigizua, Neville Gallimore, Sam Williams. I have Terrell Basham making the team with Golston and Quentin Bohanna. Dorrance Armstrong stays just because he has a $4 million hit. And I mean, he made some plays last year. He had some touchdowns. He had some stuff that, like, I think
he's got something to
I think
prove.
there's something. And
You
then
know, with
I
the
have
whole
Tristan Hill
Randy
making
Gregory.
it with the trade for a possible offensive lineman. That's where the offensive lineman get somebody over there help us there. And I
Watch
got
out for
John
Wynn.
Ridgeway making the last spot on the defensive line.
Yeah.
So I actually have
Yeah.
like 10 defensive linemen on this team.
But that's not ridiculous.
No,
not at all.
No.
Not at all.
So,
And I'm
yeah.
liking all of them. Like I could feel good with almost every rotation in that. I mean, even if you put the lower guys, the guys, okay, at the end of the game, you got Terrell Basham, you got Golston, you have Bohanna and Armstrong. You still got some plays that will come out of that stuff. I mean, you're not. It's not going to be, oh my God, he's going to take on Tom Brady. No, it's you got some other guys for that. So I'm liking what I put together. I'm liking also there. When is the final cut? It's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
4:00. You have to have
Tuesday,
me.
you gotta have it. That's where it's going to start going crazy. It's going to start crazy.
It's 5
And
o'clock
that's
our
where it's going
time.
to also see some of the other teams and what they've done and what we can bring on.
No, it's 4:00 Eastern.
Is it Eastern?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
everything is always Tuesday at 4:00
New
Eastern.
York, right?
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I love Weed Hill is the breaking point. Is the what happens there?
I like what he's done. I still don't think he really fits what we're doing, but that doesn't mean that he deserves to be cut. I think he may get flipped. If not, then he's going to be a rotational guy who's going to come in on pass rushing down,
See,
like long distance.
You got to go ahead and understand that a leopard doesn't change its spots. And what Dan Quinn did with Seattle, as great as that defense was, Cliff Averill had 8 sacks and led the team. Bennett had, I think, 6 or 7. Everybody else was like a 4 or 5, sack type player because he loves to bring in, fresh bodies and rotate guys.
Right.
Because he looks at it like if I get half the plays out of my player going against that offensive lineman, he's going to be wore out by the end of the game. and I'm going to give you different looks. And the thing that when you play in the line, by a first half of a game, you start getting the guy's tendency. You start understanding how you're playing against him.
Mhm.
He doesn't allow the offensive lineman to get comfortable playing against that same guy. And you're going to see some exotic stuff. You're going to see plays where there's only one guy who's down, in a 4-point
I
stand.
like saying
You're
that.
going
That
to
was a little
see
bit
four
confusing for
guys
the
across the
offense.
line standing up that
Yeah,
are
that's
that are going to be
yeah.
making moves. You're going to see a lot of different things because he can do a lot of different things because he's
Yeah,
got
let
a lot of
Jalen
different
Hurts trying to figure out what they're going to do.
yeah,
Good luck.
yeah. And that's what you're going to be able to do. I was talking earlier today because I think about that game last night where we get the 5 takeaways.
Hmm.
You may see a lot of ugly games, like Baltimore Raven type games where the offense is getting extra goes with it with short fields. The offense may have some struggles because of not having Tyron Smith
Right.
and the receivers, taking time to develop. That this defense may end up being a lot of games where it's like, 17-14 or something like that, low scoring games. We've been spoiled seeing the Cowboys scoring 28,
Yeah,
32 points a game
definitely.
and losing. We won't be losing games where we've scored 38 points again.
And I know this sounds weird, but with the Tyron Smith injury, I think that lessens the blow of losing Amari Cooper because okay, he's not going to have a lot of time as it
To
is
throw,
now.
yeah, agreed.
So, what's another receiver going to do? I'd rather more, like we talk about, do 12 personnel. I
Hmm.
think I just think it's just making more and more sense to move on from him. No, I didn't like the 5th round pick.
Right.
I mean, but now I mean, how we're going to have to run our offense, I'm fine with it. I'm excited to go with the young guys. Hopefully, Houston makes the team because I really like that kid. So
I'm messing with the stuff. Like, keep talking, guys. What are you
yeah,
guys thinking about the Tampa Bay matchup in the first game of the season? How are you guys feeling confident about that? I mean, how are you feeling before? Obviously, with
not
Tampa
as
Bay have,
confident,
yeah, with
but I
Tampa Bay
think we're
having its
winning that
injuries,
game.
though, man.
Well, you know what? That may be a defensive game.
Yeah,
It
Yeah, I
may
think
be a
that's going to
low
be.
scoring game that gets ugly.
I
yeah.
hope Dak can stay upright, and it could like exactly be it could be an ugly game. It could be punt, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I mean,
Hmm.
it could be, but
Yeah, I
I don't
think
really
I
care
think
as long as we
Dak and
win.
them
As long
is
as we
definitely
win,
going to be the X factor because nobody knows what's going on with
I
them, how
think
they're going
that's
to
a
look.
statement game too. I
Yeah,
think it's
Hmm.
a statement game. I think if we don't come out of that with all the turmoil with the Bucks off season, all the injuries that they had, everything. If we can't win that game, a revenge game from last year, then I'm going to be disappointed big time. I expect to win that game.
All
I,
right.
Game,
I agree with Thomas Garrett.
If you want, if you want to know what I think is going to happen with this offense, okay? I want to say the 2011 New England Patriots. Okay.
I got to go back in 2011.
2011 New England Patriots. Aaron Hernandez, 910 yards.
So that
Wes
was a
Welker,
rookie tight end, right?
1,569 yards. Julian Edelman, 34. Gronkowski, 1327. Deion Branch, 702.
Yeah. Wow,
The
some good
tight
Mm,
stuff.
ends were
yeah,
your wide receivers.
yeah. I could
Okay.
see that.
And you had
I could
Edelman,
see.
of course, in the slot. I mean, not excuse me, not Edelman. Wes Welker in the slot, who was an absolute beast. He was unstoppable, with as one great receiver. Everybody else is kind of a role player, but they relied on the tight ends.
Well, you got three good tight ends if they make the roster like they in general. You got guys that you
Yeah,
can throw to, and I think you feel comfortable throwing to.
And
That
I
can.
think yeah, Dak's proven to love to go to to the
the tight
tight
ends.
end. Yeah, I mean
And
that's his, his
right
security
now,
blanket.
I will say that right now that Jake Ferguson is better than Dalton Schultz was. I think he's going to have a bigger impact.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely coming out. I
he's
mean,
as
just
good a
think about
blocker, and I think he's a much better pass catcher.
yeah. Think
Oh yeah,
about when Schultz came out. We were all kind of like, really? He kind of doesn't, and then
and
he
that's
Yeah.
and
developed.
that's why Blake Jarwin was our guy, and that's why
Hmm.
until he couldn't stay healthy, and I think
Yeah.
that's where everybody relied on Dalton Schultz, and I think it's more of a you don't want to be alone kind of at the end of a relationship. I'd rather be with this
Hmm.
person than be by myself. And I think that's kind of the problem that we had going into that franchise tag is that where in the horizon was there anybody other than,
Listen,
oh,
I don't blame the team
yeah,
because they're actually saving money by doing what they're doing.
yeah,
Don't be
But
surprised if they
quite
do it again
frankly,
next year.
yeah, because franchise
13
tagging
mil.
him would be cheaper than giving him a long-term deal.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, the way Hendricks shot, has he had potential.
Hmm.
I could see Schultz being gone. Somebody signing him to a mega deal and getting another
get
comp
another tight
pick.
end,
I mean,
get another
that's
tight
the
end
new
next year.
NFL.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that's the new NFL.
Yeah.
So
And that's where you can see guys like Pollard move on as well next year, is because those contracts, somebody's going to pay him. Somebody's going to pay him, and he
Hmm.
definitely deserves it. It's just when you don't expect them sometimes to come back, and I don't think Schultz I expected to come back. That's sometimes where Dallas actually spends the money, and it kind of surprises us, and I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
So, first game of the season, I feel us beating the Bucks. I definitely feel it. I feel the offense coming out and doing their thing, and then of course they're going to be a big, huge hype around it, and I don't like that part of it, especially if they
yeah,
get a big
the older I
name.
get, the less I like all that.
Yeah,
Well,
I used to
football is
love all the pre shows, and I understand for what we do, what Mark does. Like we have to watch it on some level. I get it. It's talking points, but it don't mean nothing for us to who know what we're talking about. I don't care what they say.
But football is a game of matchups. Okay. And I know Tom Brady's the GOAT, but he's still 45 years old. And you still start slowing down some. The problem is going to be the interior of the line. And that's where the Dallas Cowboys can really put some pressure. When you look at Tom Brady losing in Super Bowls, it's been teams that have been able to put pressure in his face. He does not like it. Yes, they have Evans still there. But after you go from there, you got Julio Jones, who just got there, who can't stay healthy. Tom Brady wasn't there for 10 days. And there's not but so much practicing that you actually do in football these days. I think the Dallas Cowboys being at home, being the season opener, the lack of time that offensive line is going to have, Leonard Fournette being overweight like crazy, I think the Cowboys actually have a really good chance on that game.
Yeah, I'm with you.
yeah,
I
And,
definitely with you.
yeah.
You know, it would be one of those situations where it would be deflating if we lost. Now, if it's a revenge game. Everything is in our favor other than we lost our left tackle. But
Mhm.
I mean, Tampa doesn't want to hear that. Tampa
no,
has lost, you know,
exactly, yeah, exactly,
3/5 of their line. So I don't. It's no excuse. This is the NFL. You're going to lose more players. I hate to say it. We're going to
Yeah.
lose somebody else.
Hmm.
It's a war of attrition. But man, are we deep on defense?
I love it.
So, and I
Yeah.
think we're more deep than most teams.
Yeah.
And if people are sleeping on the defense, which is funny because you would think we're a top 10 defense.
Hmm.
Okay, Eagles, you get ready. Get ready.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
You're going to be smothering people and getting
Yeah.
takeaways.
Yep.
And so far, I believe we've had 8 takeaways in 3 games.
Yeah,
That's what I was telling Phil before you got on. I
Yeah.
was like, that's just with our backups.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. That just tells you how deep we are.
Yeah.
We can roll out. I'm not worried if Bland has to go in there and he sees some snaps.
You know what the problem has been for the Cowboys was, unfortunately, Jerry Jones and the team is still living in the 90s. Back in the 90s, we were just better and deeper than everybody else. We could just say, we're going to line up and we're going to run the ball right here, and they wouldn't still be able to stop us. And unfortunately, our offense, even through Jason Garrett, was basically the same kind of philosophy. It wasn't, we're going to scheme against you, we're going to do pre-snap motion, we're going to change up and give you different looks and make you figure what we're doing. It was basically, we're going to line up and we're going to beat you. And we were okay there for a while when we had Travis Frederick and
yeah,
Zach Martin and Tyron Smith that were healthy. I think about the 2017 season. 2016, Zeke was balling out. The offensive line was great, and you had Scott Linehan, who literally was basically like, it ain't broke, so don't fix it. And they didn't change anything. And if you remember when we were doing the show All or Nothing, I can remember it like it was yesterday. When we played Denver and Denver was able to stop the run, you could see the play callers basically like, they're stopping the run. Like,
Yeah.
what do we
Right.
do? They didn't have a clue. They didn't have a plan. It's like, how can they can't
Right.
stop the run. This is not possible. So then it's the panic. And this is kind of like with Kellen Moore. Here's where it needs to be. You need to put people in a position to win. When Chaz Green came in, they left him on an island just like it was still Tyron Smith, and he gets the hell beat out of him.
Yeah.
When Tony Romo goes
Over
down,
and over
you've got
again.
everybody, and you're trying to
It's not
play
in
him
the
the
game
same as you
plan.
played Tony Romo. You've got to understand that each player's got different strengths and abilities and play to them, and they don't seem to understand that. Okay, so now Tyron Smith is gone. Tyron Smith, when healthy,
Played to the strengths.
Basically, Tyron, you got the edge rusher. You're done. Well, guess what? Tyler Smith is not that guy and is not ready to be that guy. So now it behooves you as the coach to understand, what can I do to help him? How can I change the play calling so it will benefit me?
Yeah.
I can't say we're just going to, line up in the pocket. We're going to have Dak Prescott is always going to be in this spot. We have to understand we have to move the pocket. We've got to end up doing different looks. We have to be deceptive. And this is where the team is going to sink or swim on that offense and that offensive line. It's going to have to be Kellen Moore. I hate to say that.
I know.
If he ends up just saying, well, we're just going to plug in Tyler Smith and we're going to do everything we were going to do anyway, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he sits back and has that quarterback mentality that he could draw up the perfect play, when we should just run the damn ball, or
Run the ball,
you know
play
what I
action,
mean?
quick hitting. You don't have time.
That's what it has to be. It has to be that. And now, like the play action, that's not like, kid ourselves. We could play action and go downfield every once in a while. You have to in this league. You have to stretch the defense. I just don't want to do that time and time again, and end up third and long. Run the ball. We need to be in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, type situations, and we can. That's hard to stop. And then they're going to come up, and then that's going to open up, down the field. So
wow.
So as I look at this game,
Miami just got another touchdown.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy, isn't it?
They are. They are.
If that was Dallas, what would the narrative be?
The talking heads out there. It was just preseason, and they'll make excuses for them because they've been picking and saying they're the best team. They're so deep and all that. They look like ass.
Like, you still want to see what your backups can do, and I know in the previous years our backups weren't extremely great, and so you could kind of tell in those preseason games. So it was kind of nice to see them do that. I'm in balance with this not hitting before preseason games, and then you see people just going down like crazy, and then the sad story, obviously, our running back
different
getting
NFL.
hurt. And
but here's what actually should give you hope is the fact that our backups, we're having a hard time with making cuts.
Oh my God, yes.
Last year, did we have a hard time with who's going to be on the defensive line?
Yeah.
It was like, we got to keep all of these guys, and because
it'll be interesting because I don't want to lose certain players. I just don't. So
is like dictate. That's what we need to do. Kellen Moore needs to dictate, and so and I think that's going to start on and everything. I think even with Kellen Moore doing his thing, I think of course it all rotates on that offensive line. So it is
Glimmer Man, not just Chaz that week, but the edges, the E-girls. The next week for the 6 sacks was not just the Falcons game. I agree, but watching that Falcons game and them just ignoring what was everybody at home was saying, put a damn tight end over there, gives the guy help. I felt bad for Chaz Green at one point. It was like they were doing it on purpose. They were punishing the guy. It's like, okay.
After the 3rd sack, it's like, can we help the guy?
And he's out of the league. The guy who did that to him.
Oh, God.
It was crazy. He made a lot of money off of Chaz Green that day. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, Claiborne got his contract with the Browns because of that game.
Yeah.
That was like that literally turned around. Eastside
Eastside
Harold
Harold.
is he in here? Oh
Eastside
my
Harold, go
goodness,
Texans.
There it
it's a party now.
is.
Oh
Marley
Oh,
man,
Green's
funny.
West Coast offense. What do you think? And what should we do? Yeah, that it should help the O line. Well, I was
yeah.
telling Mark the other day. I said I want to do 12 personnel, but if it gets ugly, then you have to
Spread them
spread
out.
them out, and you have to do quick. I mean, I think you'll see some of that in our
Hmm.
2-minute offense. I think I think Dak is very good running the no huddle. Or he
Oh, I
get
love
into
it.
the
I love
line.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
but
don't
So
see,
think they do it enough sometimes,
for tempo, I like it. Sometimes
especially
as
when
an
the
offensive
offense is
coordinator,
bad.
you
personnel
need to see.
personnel was the best package success rate that they had
And then
last
they
year.
just
Yep.
stopped.
And see, you don't see it.
Why?
You don't understand the dynamics of it
Yeah.
because basically you're going to go out there and look and see what the defense is doing, and you're going to do the opposite.
Mhm.
If there are 8 men in the box, we're going to boot. 8 men in the box is where you get
Eastside
sucked in
Harold.
on the play
I miss the
in play
Chaz Green
action.
days. Good times. Good
Yeah.
times. I bet.
You
Yeah,
know,
he was.
and
Yeah, he did.
you're gonna go ahead, quick hitter. You're gonna bootleg. I'm telling you. If
Well,
they
all right.
don't get into it, then I've got 7 guys to block.
Mhm.
Let's put like you're a team playing in Dallas. I mean, your team. You're the Bucks. What are you going to do against us? Are you going to stack the line? Are you going to blitz and you're going to try and let Dak get rid of the ball quick?
Well,
You're going to
you're gonna attack the rookie. You know you're going to attack
right.
the rookie. That's where I'm putting my best man on there, and we're gonna say, "Welcome to the NFL."
They're
You
just
gotta,
going to bring more guys than we can block,
you
and
gotta
we're going to have
see
to
if
run the
things.
ball.
You gotta see if things are also carrying over from last year. If you're the Buccaneers, you got to go for Anthony Brown deep to see if they're
Mhm.
calling some pass interferences on him. So I mean, you have some stuff from last year that are
Yeah, because
game things.
remember
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
in that
destroyed.
first game, we didn't have Zach Martin.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. We did.
So just remember that we didn't have Zach, and Dak still threw for 400 yards. And no offense to
Right.
Tyron, I think Zach is playing at a higher level
Oh
than
my God.
than
Definitely.
Tyron. So
I'll be honest with you. If you look back at that play where Micah Parsons beat him, Tyron Smith was flat-footed, and I was beginning to wonder, is this leg been bothering him for longer than
it,
just that one
it might have been
play?
compromised already.
Yeah,
Sometimes when you're compromised, that's when you get those blowouts.
yeah,
Well, especially if you
Yeah.
hear him talk, like you hear people talking about how he was walking around like it wasn't a problem. So if he did have
Mhm.
something wrong before, you really think he was
You wouldn't
stopping
have known.
himself, So, and he didn't
Yeah.
obviously want to have a setback, just in case people to get people talking. So he may
Mhm.
have felt that pressure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you guys and the people, but I'm excited to get the season started. I'm really
It just sucks
tired
that
of
there's a week in
me-
between. I mean, it's good for the team.
meaningless games.
So what do
I'm
you
ready
think
to go. I'm
if you had to predict the final outcome of a record for this year, what do you think? What do you think? Like
Well,
obviously, there's
I'm
gonna be
gonna
some
go a
factors you
game
can't
less
go.
than what I thought. I'm gonna go 10 wins.
You're gonna go 10.
I'm going to stick with 11 and 6.
I originally said 11, but I think that's going to cost us a game somewhere. I think that the division is going to be tighter, but I still think we win a division.
I think any kind of things I had on the offensive line, like if we didn't have something on our special teams, I'd probably be a little bit more worried.
Jesus, he got
Turpin,
pounded into the turf.
But Turpin, he definitely brings a factor, and I think I said before, where there's going to be somebody that's going to want to punt away from him. There's going to be somebody that's going to, shank the ball and give us better field positioning because they don't want to kick it to him. I think that'll be a factor as well. It's just and I think yes, at some point you'll see a guy like him make a fumble or something like that during the season. But I definitely see more positives than negatives on him. So I definitely jumping on the 11-6 bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that 11-6 because, see, I believe that Dak Prescott is going to be far and away better this year than he was last year. And I think even though our talent may be less on the wide receivers, the fact that he's been able to work with them, I think, is going to pay dividends. See, people don't realize that when CeeDee Lamb was drafted, that was a COVID year. That was when the team was basically
On the
doing virtual
yacht.
reality workouts and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he was
You had
drafted
a
on a
you
yacht.
didn't have a preseason game, and you had that training camp that was really short, and you had Dak Prescott playing 5 games. So you didn't have Dak and CD actually playing much then. Last year, of course, Dak is rehabbing, so they're not doing off-season, work at his house like they had been before. He's not even throwing even in training camp because his shoulder is out. And so you literally had them basically learning on the fly through 17 games. This offseason is the first chance Dak and CD really had a chance to really work together. And see, this is where you start to learn your guys. Certain receivers like the ball in a different place and different ways and stuff. You know, that
Especially when you
cohesion.
don't have to
Yep,
worry about getting the ball to Amari,
right.
you know?
So you got Dak with better mechanics, more velocity, and now he can actually move. So that opens up RPOs,
Hmm.
moving the
Yeah.
pocket and doing other things right there. That's going to help make up for the CD. I think you now have better tight ends. I think that they're understanding we need to use Tony Pollard more outside, basically giving him the ball like it's a elongated handoff, okay, in the screen game. That will actually slow down the pass rush and help out your tackle. So I don't think that the offense is going to take that step back as far as everybody thinks it will. I think the offense is going to have to evolve, which sometimes that's the best thing because the Cowboys have always been doing the same stupid stuff
Yeah.
over and
Hmm.
over again, and everybody is so predictable and knows what you're going to do, and it's usually we've been able to be successful because we've had better people.
I
Well,
love
now
these.
let's
I
have a
love
little
these
mystery here.
records that people are putting in the chat. I love it. You got I
13
love
and
we
4,
with
12 and
the
5.
13-4. Angelica goes
Listen,
12-5.
uh,
Mary has 13-4, 12-5 right there. It's pretty good. I love
if
those.
it goes the way Mark is saying, then I could see winning 12 games because I'm
Well,
telling you, Eagles are not going to be as good as what everybody's saying. I'm just telling you, I've
and
seen
here's the other
enough
part. Here's the other
to
part.
know.
The other part of this, if Turpin is as good as we think, it's not. I'm not saying we're going to get a whole bunch of touchdowns and stuff like that. It's kind of like YouTube. It's like people say, "Oh, I had a video that had a million views," but what are the rest of your videos? It's
Yeah.
actually about consistency. You're better off if
Right.
you're a person that
Right.
get 5,000 views on a consistent basis instead of that one big hit. And if he ends up just picking up our field position, we pick up 5 or 6 yards. If our defense is the ball hawkers that we think and can give us the ball more times, more opportunities with the short field, if our defense can stop the run and actually make teams punt sooner than later,
It looks like they can.
then we don't necessarily have to score as many points. We'll have a shorter field. And when you get a takeaway, yeah, here's the thing. Here's the difference on this. When you get a takeaway, it is a point swing of possibly 14 points.
Hmm. That's correct.
And the momentum shift that you get from those things can be the difference between winning and losing. So,
Hmm.
yes, we're going to take a step back without Amari Cooper, but I look at it and say, we've got better tight ends now. Yes, we're going to take a step back without Tyron Smith, but maybe we evolve the offense and do something
Better
different
in
and
the run
saying
game.
we're just going to
All
bowl
right.
over everybody. But
Yeah.
again, it all goes back to your play caller.
Listen, at our most successful time in our franchise, that's the type of ball that we played. So
Balanced
more of a ball
offense.
control. Yeah. So I mean, let's not be afraid of that. People go, oh, I mean, it's going to be boring. No, there's nothing better than having a ball control offense and the defense can do nothing about it. That's
Right.
that's that's when it gets fun. So
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
have all the big plays you want. It's good to have the quick hitters, but then that means your defense is back out on the field. Now, if you're scoring touchdowns constantly, but those 40
And
to
eating up the clock.
38 games is rough, and you can't win that way consistently.
No.
You
Yeah.
can win with ball control, a great defense, a great special teams, given flips in the field. So I like that style anyway. So I'm hoping Kellen can stick to the script and do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I agree, and
Most
hopefully the
definitely.
penalties will help stay out of the way. I agree in some ways with Michael Irvin in the sense that this team and what you're saying as well too. This team can get a lot of wins if they can stay out of their own way, and the referees as well. So
Yeah, I
defense
feel
I'm
that
excited to see.
McCarthy. Yeah, I feel McCarthy is going to have a short leash with Kellen Moore because he knows this is it. So I think if Kellen can't get out of his own ass calling plays, I think McCarthy will take over the play calling. And you will see, he has to. It's like at some point, if I'm going to get in trouble for something, I'm going to make sure that I'm making the
Yeah, exactly. It's
decisions.
almost
You know what I mean?
decisions. Yeah, yeah.
If I'm cooking the meal, I want to, go out and do the shopping type of thing.
So right now,
No,
it's
he ain't
barely.
doing the
It's
shopping. They
14,
ain't letting him do the
13.
shopping right now.
Yeah, 13 and a half minutes in the fourth quarter for me, and 41-3.
Yeah.
I mean,
13-3. I mean, and
it's
I know it's
trash
not
time.
starters, but at the same
But
time,
if it's us,
yeah,
just remember, people, if it was us playing the Dolphins losing here, it would be Dak sucks, even though Dak didn't play, but, you would see nothing but negative shit. So, listen, we're going by what we're seeing, and it don't look good.
no,
So,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew this stuff was gonna. I thought it was gonna be intercepted.
I think Eagles are thin. I think they're thin.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
just
they're
thin.
very talented on offense, but I think they're thin. They don't have a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah,
we got
I agree
some
with you on that one.
You know, the
And the Ravens are up 17-6
see, I
too.
don't have that, so
Yeah, I'm
I
watching.
gotta get more
game.
TVs in here, as you see.
The man cave.
Hey, my girl, every time I put
Oh,
a TV in here, she's just like, really? You have no
Another
idea. I
surge
have
protector?
another room. Yeah, exactly. It's all piled on. DJ.
Well,
overload.
basically, I end up having 3 cable boxes and streaming on.
I see Michael
Trust me,
Anthony
get it.
Fitness
I'm
back there.
envious of your set, Mark. Trust me, I am very envious. I like it. I like seeing whenever before I kind of got involved right there. I saw the outside set, the inside.
Oof.
Now you have a traveling set, and then you're gonna have an RV set, and then you're
Hey.
gonna have an underwater set where you're going scuba diving, and it's just
I don't know about that.
they're gonna be choking just like
Not quite sure about that one, but yeah. But this has been fun, man.
Yeah, it has. I
I really
appreciate
enjoyed doing stuff with you guys.
You didn't. I don't know if you saw the beginning. Like we had no audio.
Now, do you know what it was?
I was wondering what happened on
exactly
that.
what it was.
Okay.
I knew exactly what it was.
Okay, now
Because I
note
looked
to
at some
self.
settings, and I did some YouTube things. They're like, oh, if you want perfect optimal thing, make sure you set it like this, and it should have been if you want to make sure that you mess yours up. He's probably giggling. He's like, I want to mess up so many people's live streams.
Yeah.
But I figured it out.
It's a work in progress.
So no, and I know
Now,
what it
Mark,
is, so.
about the, I did reach out to Troy. We could do what we want, but he said if he don't want to hold us up. But is it? I mean, do we have to do the draft tomorrow?
It's not tomorrow. It's not set for tomorrow yet.
Yeah, I would just hold off.
Like 3 or 4 people,
Like Thomas Garrett needs to get in on there.
Yeah.
Anybody
I shared
else in the chat?
the link for it, so that way you can give it to whoever.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw that. I was gonna make another one. No, I'm just.
Yeah, just do it, and I like to see Thomas Garrett in it. I just wanted to keep one spot for Troy. Hopefully, he does get out of the hospital midweek.
Man.
If he does,
The
then
Eagles are getting trolled pretty hard right now. I see Ethan over there saying Eagles suck. Everybody.
Cole's Cowboys. Come on, man, hop in in our live.
Thank you, Cole. Yeah, man. You know what? I will reach out next time. I will get Cole's Cowboys. We'll do a 4-1 in here. That's my boy. I love his YouTube. I love seeing what his opinions are as well. So yeah, I'll definitely have to get him as well in here. So definitely getting my man cave ready for the season. I like that. I've been giving him. We've been talking about his videos. I like that he has an intro and stuff like that as well too. So he's up and coming as well. And but thank you guys for joining in, man. I really honestly appreciate it. We're gonna figure out probably do this Saturday as well, next Saturday before the game. For each week as well too, so it'll probably fluctuate, but we'll try to do it on the weekend on Saturdays. That way we'll try to stay consistent and try to come up with some stuff on the week. Jump on Mark's channel whenever we possibly can, because that guy is on there 24/7. So all I need to do is just drop by the station and I can go live, kind of like Dave Chappelle just jumping on the stage.
Yeah.
Do it live. Do it live. Okay.
Do it live.
So, but I really hope to get up there in the beginning of the season, maybe possibly see you and Bryan as well up there, and so we can see some Buccaneers get their ass whooped. But again, I am going to go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate all you guys tuning in.
Hit the like
And
button
make sure
and
you
the
hit the like button
subscribe
on the
button
way
in
out.
here.
Share it. Let people know about it. Thank you very much for being patient in the beginning. I really honestly appreciate you guys sticking around and letting me do that. So it's good 2 weeks in a row. And if I fuck up on the third one, maybe people will respect me because I make a ritual out of it. So again, I
I'll
appreciate.
see everybody tomorrow. Most likely, that's in here will be over.
Oh
And
yeah, we'll be in the Zoom tomorrow. Make sure you check out Mark Holmes' channel. But I'm pretty sure all of you guys are from Mark's channel going over this way. So, but if any of you somehow did it and you found me first, I really want to hear that story because yeah, I don't know how that happened. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Primetime Phil. This is Mark Holmes and of course Bryan Greene. And make
peace
sure you
out,
tune in tomorrow at
peeps.
the Zoom. So, peace, guys.